You've dedicated so much time over the last few years to your study. You've been focused. You've made some big decisions and you did it. You're here at the University of Melbourne and we're so thrilled to welcome you, or Woman Jaika, to the University of Melbourne. I'm Zoe Wall and tonight I'm really excited to say, get ready because it all starts right here, right now, your journey at the University of Melbourne. Now, I know some of you are excited, some of you are a bit nervous, but this is just the start of setting you up for success for a really great experience with us at the University of Melbourne. Now, my first tip for you as students at the University of Melbourne, of which you all are, is that tonight is only the start. Don't feel overwhelmed. You don't have to remember every single thing. We're just giving you a little slice. This is part one of Let's Get Started. And tomorrow night, we're going to be looking really closely at setting you up for academic success. But throughout your entire time at the University of Melbourne, we will support you, coach you, and be there for you. You just need to ask questions and ask for help. And for those of you coming up next, you'll be having orientation and course information sessions where we'll delve quite deep into getting to know the university. And for those of you in undergrad, very soon you'll be meeting your peer mentors, but more on that later. So we're super excited to have you all joining us from throughout the world. But before I get started, I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the lands on which you are all joining me from throughout the world tonight. I join you from the lands of the Wurundjeri people, and I pay my respects to their elders past, present, and emerging. For those of you unfamiliar with Australian culture, this is something that you're going to experience at the University of Melbourne a lot. It's something really important in Australia and to us at the University of Melbourne. It's our way of being able to recognise our nation's first people and their deep connection to country. So that's kind of one of your first moments of getting familiar with the University of Melbourne. That's the acknowledgement of country. And maybe when you're able to join us on campus, you'll even get the chance to experience a welcome to country, which is actually held by an Indigenous elder. So, Woman Jaika, as the Wurundjeri people say. And as I promised, let's get started. So, I said earlier about asking questions throughout your time at the University of Melbourne. We're a really friendly bunch of people and we want to help you. Now, I have a bunch of expert guests joining me tonight. And part one, let's get started. We're going to be giving you some insider tips about what you need to know now to get started and what it's going to be like studying with us, what it's going to be like living in Melbourne once you join us on campus, but also the things that you can get involved in and ways to make friends. And those kinds of things are both online and offline. Now, I want to say up front too that we've always been a global institution. We have students from over 160 nations throughout the world that will be joining you in your classrooms. And we have an alumni network that spreads right across the world. But I think at the moment, as you all represent, we're more global than ever right now, as there's kind of University of Melbourne campuses everywhere. Whether you're in Mumbai, whether you're in Miami, whether you're in Melbourne, you're all each a part of our University of Melbourne campus, and we are going to make sure to give you that little slice of Melbourne every day that you log on, whether it's for a fitness class or a physics class. So make sure to post your questions in the Q&A chat. But I think to get us started, I'm going to introduce you to my first guest, and he actually is going to be somewhere you're going to get to know online and on campus. He comes to you from Stop One, which is your go-to. Please welcome my first expert panelist, Louis. Hi, Louis, welcome.
Hi, Zoe. Lovely to be here.
It's fantastic to have you. Now, you are known as Stop One. You're a representative of Stop One. Now, I call it the go-to. Tell me all about Stop One and why do all of our audience out there need to know about Stop One?
You're exactly right, Zoe. So stop one is exactly that. It's the first place you should stop when coming into the university. So the University of Melbourne does offer one of the most comprehensive student support networks in all of Australia. And Stop One can connect you with a full range of student services to help support your success while studying here at the university. So here at Stop One of the most beneficial services we offer and one that's of most interest is course planning. So course planning appointments are probably the best way to get answers about your course. So our course advisors can help talk to you about course rules, course structure, choosing your subjects, using your study plan, making sure you're on track to graduate, plus so much more. Best of all, this is a completely free service for all University of Melbourne students, whether it's your first day of your degree or you're going into your final semester, and there's no limit on how many appointments you can book.
So they could visit you every day if they wanted?
Yeah, if they wanted to, you definitely can. There's no limit on that, and sometimes you have questions about your course. You decide to change your mind. You try a subject and you want to enroll into something else. They're the experts, and we're here to help you.
Excellent. So tip number 1, ask questions. Tip number 2 from me is Stop One. In fact, it's probably tip number 1 because you can ask all your questions at Stop One. Stay with me, Louis. Now I'm going to introduce the people who have very much benefited and used Stop One whenever they need help. It's those students who are just like you not so long ago. It's some of our current students. I'd first like to introduce all the way from China. It's Chen Si. He's doing a Bachelor of Science. Welcome to the session tonight, Chen Si. Hi.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me.
It's so wonderful to have you here. Now, also in the world of the sciences, she is doing a Bachelor of Biomedicine and she comes to you from Sri Lanka. It's Ashwini. Welcome, Ashwini. And there she is. Hello.
Hi, Joey. Thank you for having me.
We all appreciate you being here. And now we're going to another Bachelor of Science student. So we find that our Bachelor of Science students obviously love to help us out. It's Angel. She's a local from Australia. And welcome. It's great to have you here, Angel.
Thanks, Zoe. It's a pleasure to be here.
Fantastic. Well, our job tonight, guys, is that we are going to give all the insider tips. The first thing, so cast your minds back to when you were starting out, like all of our audience throughout the world, or our new Uni Melbourne students, what you wish that you knew. And I want you to share real insider tips. All right, let's get started. So earlier, I mentioned that our undergraduate students who are tuning in tonight will very soon meet their peer mentors. So I believe, Chen Si, you are actually a peer mentor, and it's a really important way that we can help support new students. Can you tell us about the Melbourne Peer Mentor Program, or MPMP as we know it, and how you help students get involved and make that transition to university?
Definitely, I'd love to. So MPMP, as Zoe has said, is actually Melbourne Peer Mentor Program. So basically, it is a platform provided by the student life team at the university. And the way it works is that it connects new undergraduate students with a peer mentor who is always a later year student, and also with a group of undergraduates first year peers, just like you guys. And always like taking the same courses as you do. So you'll be having online sessions with your team and your mentor regularly during this semester. And the best part of it is you can get involved no matter where you are because it's online. So the activities you guys gonna have probably during the sessions can be gaming, discussions. Your peer mentor would provide some info about important dates at the university, some tips of exams and assignments, or maybe information about uni services, and just any other questions you may have. You can ask your peer mentors and they will provide their best to help you guys. And indeed, I was a peer mentor last semester and actually became one of the mentor leaders this year. So basically, peer mentors would just have all these regular sessions with you guys, and you have a platform called Chatter, which can be installed in your phone. It's a platform where you can discuss any questions you may have with all the team members and also your peer mentor.
Brilliant. So Chensi, this is something that the students out there, they'll be guided through the app that they need to use. You'll be well looked after. And honestly, like you're a mentee, now you're a mentor. And these are some of the first friends you'll meet. So I want to go to you, Angel. You actually were in this position not so long ago, just a few months ago, you were a first year and you were actually a mentee. What did you kind of benefit from this, from your peer mentor?
My peer mentor was actually an academic. So when I got to know him, obviously at the start, I didn't know which way I should be, planning my degree and that sort of thing. But he helped me to figure things out along the way, align my interests. And I guess one of the benefits I had was that I had stuff both pre-lockdown and post-lockdown. So even during lockdown, when things were virtual, he actually managed to stay in touch with me, guide me along the process. And it helped having a familiar face who's an academic, and to see that I wasn't the only one, trying to navigate this whole world of everything moving online, uni life and everything else. And one cool thing that my mentor actually did was he knew that I was interested in neuroscience at some point. And he said, since you're in lockdown, just order a neuroscience kit at home, have a play with it, and it should give you something to do. So it was not all just work, but there was play involved.
And there has been, as you'd see, there's been lots of really interesting ways that you've been able to learn. Whether you're in your lounge room, your bedroom, your studies, we've made it quite interactive. So every student this year, you will get a peer mentor, another student, and you'll be in a peer mentor group, but you'll also get an academic mentor. So they're just two of the ways that we're going to look out for you as the undergrad students. For graduates, there's a range of special supports available to you that your faculty will talk to you about in your course information and orientation sessions. So no matter whether you're undergrad or grad, we've got it covered. Now, Angel mentioned in their course planning, and I actually just want to go up to Louis there. Course planning is something that comes up quite a lot for students. What kinds of things, how can you connect them and support them if they're not sure what they want to do, where they should be headed in terms of being able to graduate, how to pick subjects? What advice do you have there? What kinds of things can we do for confused or students to just want to affirm what they're doing?
Yeah, it's a really, really good question. So I think the most important thing for all of you to sort of remember is it's okay to not be sure what subjects you want to enroll into, not sure where you want to go, what you're looking at for postgraduate study, if that's an option. So the best thing to do is speak to the experts. You sit down with them either in person, or these are conducted virtually, so it can be accessed from Australia or anywhere around the world, and we can help you pick your subjects, help you choose your study plan, but also if you have aspirations to go on to a certain career path, we can help organize your study plan to make sure that you're enrolling into the correct subjects, and also making sure that you're enrolled into the correct subjects to meet the requirements of your course and your major. So definitely come see us here at Stop One.
Brilliant. See, Stop One is your go-to. Now, Ashwini, you're in Sri Lanka, and I want to know, casting your mind back, what is a piece of advice that you wish that you knew back when you started, so that our audience out there, they get to kind of skip ahead with something? What do you wish that you knew when you started?
I think I wish someone told me to take university easy and to really enjoy it, because I remember in my first year I was a little anxious, because university is slightly, it's a step, high school. So I really enjoyed my second semester, especially because I learned how to.
Okay, I think that we're having some technical issues there, so we'll come back to Ashwini. Now, I think I'm going to address that many of you, as I said, we have multiple campuses happening all throughout the world right now. As I said, whether it's your lounge room, your living room, your kitchen, your study, we will make Melbourne a part of you. But soon, we hope to be joining you on campus. And so at the moment, we actually don't have that advice when that's going to be happen, but rest assured, we're ready and waiting for you. And we're going to make sure to put that life for you and your study support. Everything is there online, including ways to make friends. So very soon, we're hoping that you will be planning for coming to Melbourne. And I want to ask Chensi and Angel, but I'll start with you, Chensi. What were some of the things that you what was some of maybe the challenges of moving to Melbourne that you had when you moved here from China?
Okay, so I think the most, like the biggest challenge for me was the definite, cultural shock here. Because before I came here, I hear all about it, but then I got to actually experience the cultural shock. So there's a lot of different ways people do things around the world, and definitely it won't be similar to what I was experiencing in my home in China. So actually, and the second challenge would be the language barrier, because English is my second language, and I was always worried if I couldn't communicate with people very easily. And I think if I have any advice to provide to you guys is to be brave and actually be confident of who you are and being open-minded to explore new things around Melbourne or even Australia, because I think I think so. You are here right now, right? So why not getting more things as much as possible and really enjoy your life here without worrying too much about it. So as along the way, you're gonna see how you develop yourself and how maybe your English will improve, your personality will be improved. Just making everything quite casual and just have a positive mindset of and trying everything yourself, I guess.
Brilliant. There's some wonderful tips there. And I think that's another great one. Get involved and put yourself out there and be brave. I think it's a wonderful place to do that. Thanks so much, Chensi. I'm going to go to you, Angel. So you are local, you're a local student. And I think what I want to ask you is what were some of the challenges moving in your case from high school to university? Because people, we need to remember that even if you come from the other side of the world, everyone feels a bit nervous about starting university. And you have firsthand experience that back in 2020, all of our students, whether they lived right near campus or whether they lived in Norway, was studying online. Can you tell me about your challenges in adjusting to university? And I think it's also similar for our postgrads out there, our graduate students. There's also that step from going from undergrad to grad, but we're going to focus on your experience. Angel, can you give us some insights?
So I actually moved from Queensland, from the Gold Coast to Melbourne, and it was actually about in 2019. So I had a little bit of experience getting to know the university, attending real life classes as well as, everything going online. So one of the initial challenges was obviously the weather, because Melbourne and Gold Coast, the weather was a huge difference. But trying to find ways to assimilate into a new territory. I have family overseas and abroad as well. So in that sense, I would say that the initial challenge was, as much as we're trying to fit in, navigate university, find our sort of comfortable place and spot, not letting the other half of your support system lag behind as well, be it, scheduling regular time for calls, occasionally having Netflix parties, if that's how you guys would like to do it, and just doing something simple as just making the effort to keep in touch, be it every week, every day, whatever suits, because you need to be aware that, yes, it is an interesting time for us to navigate university and all of that, but at the same time, our support system is also getting used to us exploring and this just, in a way, sort of on the back seat for a bit.
Oh, brilliant. And on that, so many of you do have your supports if your parents and your family are tuning in, we have a special session just for them because they get nervous, anxious, and don't know what to expect when you start at the University of Melbourne too. That's tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Australian Daylight Savings Time. So please get them to tune in. That's a really great advice and support there. Thanks for that, Angel. Welcome back, Ashwini. It's great to have you back. You just did a great demonstration of sometimes this is what happens with online, and we're all cool about people joining in and jumping back, and we completely understand. I want to go back to asking you, I've kind of a slightly different question. What is your insider tip for once students are here on campus for the University of Melbourne or life as a University of Melbourne student? Can be anything, whether it's to do with academic support or classes or making the most. What's your insider tip?
I think the biggest tip would be, like you said at the beginning, to ask for help, ask questions. You know, even with your academics, I mean, if you're not sure about something, like, don't let it pile up, especially when it comes to doubts and, you know, things that you're not sure of, because your lecturers and your tutors, especially when you're, you know, in your first or second year, they're there to help you and they want you to come forward. They want you to ask for help, because I mean, I tutor people, and when I feel like people aren't asking me questions, I get worried. So go, trouble your tutors, trouble your lecturers. It's not really a trouble, but you know, you need to go bug them if you don't understand something. But also try to get involved with as much as you can, like do things that you enjoy. Public speaking, dancing, singing. There's a lot of things that university offers. You just have to go around, you know, talk to people and see, okay, what can I do? And, you know, get involved with clubs and societies. It's a really good way of, you know, having that sort of thing to like balance your academics, but then also make friends. You can perform. So it's really great. Just put yourself out there and don't be afraid to put yourself out there and just go for it. That'll be
Brilliant.
The biggest tip.
That's absolutely brilliant advice. Coming up later, we will actually be looking at some of those opportunities where you can get involved and put yourself out there. So that's coming up later. Thanks so much for that. And I'm going to go over to you, Louis, because speaking of help, and we all know by now, all our audience know, go-to is Stop One for help. We have students out there that timetabling can be a little confusing. So what should students do to ensure that they have a smooth transition before week one begins? This is a big tip for everyone.
Yeah, it's a really, really big one. I suppose the best thing to do to ensure that you're ready to go before the semester starts is just to be aware of deadlines. And there are deadlines. So you need to be aware that there's census dates, there's enrollment deadlines, as well as timetable deadlines. So you'll just need to be familiar with that. But then organizing your timetable is done in 3 easy steps. The first step is a planning phase. So we've got an opportunity to plan your timetable. So the university timetabling opens up and allows you to view where you may want to, you know, schedule the classes. Then once you plan that, you can preference which classes you'd like to do to fit in with your lifestyle, times that work for you. And then once the preferencing window closes, you can review and adjust your timetables to make any changes as need be. But of course, throughout that whole process, if you need any assistance or anything like that, contact us here at Stop One via the phone, email, live chat. We're here to help you through the process and to get you on your way for your student journey.
So, moral of the story is, if anything feels a bit unclear or tricky to you, go to Stop One. You guys do great things. Thanks, Louis. We are nearly coming to the end of our first panel of guests, so I want to leave them with, tell me what you love most about the University of Melbourne. Chen Si.
Great. I guess I got the opportunity to speak the last, I guess. So the best thing I would say I enjoy the most is the opportunities and how everyone is so welcoming around the university. So basically, I was quite a nervous guy at first, and then I attended so much activities. I mean, so many activities by clubs, by either Uni Melbourne or just, you know, groups of friends hanging out together. And then I have attended some volunteering positions. For example, there's a Mud Fest, I believe it's in 2019, which I was an usher as a volunteer, and other very incredible opportunities. And also when I joined the MPMP program, I was a mentor, and now I became, as I said, a mentor leader. So actually, it actually gives you a lot of positions and opportunities. All you need to do is be open-minded and be welcoming to all these opportunities, and really put yourself out there, like everyone was trying to say, and just be aware that people are more than happy to help you. And if you have any questions, just ask them, and you can get a lot of things from these experiences.
Brilliant. I think wonderful advice. What you love about Melbourne is the opportunity, and something you did touch on there. It's a very Australian thing. We love to help people. We're very open and friendly. So please don't hesitate to reach out to anyone on campus, whether it's your fellow students or any of the staff, because we love questions and we love helping you. And we're very open like that. So, Angel, tell me, what do you love in maybe one word about the University of Melbourne?
The people.
Good
Because-
one. It was technically two, but I'll let you slide. The people are pretty special. And what about you, Ashwini? What do you love most about the University of Melbourne?
I can't really use one word because I can't really pinpoint at one thing, but I think it's like Shengxi said, it's easy to fit in there, because I mean, I've never lived abroad like until I came to university, so it was pretty easy to fit in. Things were easy to, like everything is it's also close together, the university, the campus, and then the city, so everything's just really close by. So I guess, yeah, the whole atmosphere and the ambiance of the city, I guess. Yeah.
Wonderful. I love Melbourne, and we'll be talking about it a little bit next. And Louis, what do you love about the University of Melbourne?
I think multiculturalism, just the amount, as you said, we welcome students from all over the world, which just brings such a vibe to the campus. And you only need to go on a Wednesday to the farmers markets, where you've got so many amazing smells from cuisines from all over the world. You listen to students listening to different music. It's just, I think I love that most about working at the university.
Me too. Now, before I say thank you to our special guests for our first section, I know that in the chat there've been a lot of questions about borders. And as I said, we're ready for you. We have all of our plans in place. We have a COVID-safe campus. And as you see, Australia's doing really well there. We're waiting on when we get word from the government, and you'll be the first to know. But for now, as I said, we'll be making sure to give you a slice of Melbourne every day that you log on, from fitness classes to your classes online and all of your support. You're still going to have a unique Melbourne experience, and we're going to look after you. Our team of chatters can give you more detail. So please, I guess the theme of this is ask your questions and ask. So we've had some tips from our absolute insiders. Get involved, make the most of the opportunities. And it's okay to feel a bit nervous and to want to ask questions. And of course, go to stop one. Could you please put your hands together for my very first guest, giving you the insider's view of the University of Melbourne? They were once like you not so long ago, our wonderful students. And Louis, they can't hear your applause, but I know they'll feel your appreciation. Thank you so much.